Okay, so as you know, I've got my virtual machine sorted out pretty much. So I mean, my not my virtual machine, my Ubuntu sorted out the way I wanted it. But there was one problem for the past what over a week now. I was searching on the internet for a zoom tool, which is a bit like the Zoom It tool I've used on Windows XP. You know, where you can zoom into the desktop, because sometimes you get this text, right, and it's so small you can't read it. And anyway, I contacted a guy. He a YouTube channel, Linux for Seniors, I think it's called. And I sent a private message, well, a comment to him. I said I've been struggling trying to find a tool, and apparently it's already built in. I just needed to know the right keys to press. So he told me, he said, when you want to zoom in, so I've marked my keys in red, right? I've used a red pen because I keep forgetting. So you have to press the Windows key, the Alt key, and the 8 key. And the 8 key kind of makes sense. It looks like a pair of eyes if you look at it from the side. So if I press these two keys and the 8 key together, right? Oh, damn it, I didn't press it. Then the 8 key. Now look at my desktop. It zoomed right in, look. And now I can move my mouse around and it zoomed right into to Brightex thing. So if I press those keys again, if I press the Windows key, the Alt key, and the 8 key again, it zooms back out. So yeah, I found it. It's already built in. I just didn't know how to do it. And so anyone else that's stuck, that's in Ubuntu, and wants to zoom into the desktop, and the good thing about it is it even does it while you're playing it. So if I mute the sound, right, I'll mute the sound and play it while it's actually. If I press the Windows key and the Alt key and the 8 key again, it zooms in while it's playing, which is even better because you can actually see all these mouse movements and everything while he's actually doing his video. So you can see him moving, and you've got to pan around though, because obviously he's into different parts of the desktop. So he's showing us how to do this other stuff, right? So let's zoom back out again. All right, so it goes back out. So it works pretty well. So anyway, that's how you do it. Bye for now. Okay, so one of the biggest problems with older versions of Windows, which are no longer supported by Microsoft, Windows XP, for example, is that the update server, the activation server, no longer works, right? So let's say you've got backups, right? So one of the problems I keep coming across is over time, you know, you restore your backup, and obviously because it might have been a couple of years, 2 or 3 years or something since you restored the backup, and you've got new hardware, you've got a new hard drive, you've had to restore, you had to replace hardware, you've got a new hard drive, you've got probably 2 or 3 new hard drives, right? And all of a sudden Windows pops up this message on the screen saying significant hardware changes. Ugh, I keep seeing that, right? Windows needs to be reactivated. Wow. So, right, what do? You can't activate it, right? So you say, would you like to activate? It says, would you like to activate Windows now? And you think, yeah, okay, because it's mine, I bought it, so why not? So you're on the internet, you shouldn't be, because it's dangerous with the viruses and malware and everything else. And so you click on activate now, and what happens? Windows pops up with a message, and it says Windows is not able to access the Windows server, activate server. I say, oh no, I'm screwed. And the only other option it gives you is a phone number. But do you really want to be ringing that phone number? Is it going to cost you a fortune? It might do. I'm not sure. I've never used it, to be honest with you. But so basically, you're screwed, right? You have a Windows backup, and you've got all your old software on it, like me, and you want to use the old software. You can't even download it anymore because they've gone through and basically, what's the word, bleached it or removed it or whatever. The sites that it used to be on are no longer there, so you can't reinstall that software anyway, and you're stuck. And you've got all these old configuration files for your video editing tools, or you got whatever it is. It might be SketchUp for doing your PCB designs, and you can't even use that anymore because you can't access the internet anyway. So you're buggered there, because I can't use SketchUp anymore. It doesn't work. So you're really messed up, right? But anyway, then you come across some guy who's a genius, and he's found, well, unsurprisingly, Windows is full of bugs, and it's very buggy, it's very glitchy, it has so many faults with it. And he found a way to activate Windows without even going on the internet. Cool, right, brilliant. So anyway, I'll put a link down below, because let's face it, it's obsolete now. You can't even buy it. I mean, officially it would be a waste of time, because you can't buy it and then install it and activate it, because you can't activate it, right? So what do? Anyway, there are people out there who found a way around the problem, and which is great. But as I say, you can't use the internet on it anymore because it's not safe. There's a security vulnerability. Hang on, what's it called? A minute. Hang on, let me just remember. I'll pause a sec. Yeah, there's a security problem with the kernel, right? The kernel that's spelled KERNELL. Is it kernel 32? I think it is. Or is it kernel? Anyway, it's kernel 32, whatever. Because of this problem, because the kernel is basically wide open to attack by viruses and malware and things, you just can't use it on the internet anymore. It's not safe, right? So basically, it's only really useful to us old geeks, or old, I'm not really a geek, but us old farts who can't let an old thing go. Because I mean, it's a bit like my granddad. He was set in his ways, and there was a saying, and you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And basically what that means is you don't like new stuff. You like to stick with the past. You like the old, antiquated ways of doing things. And I liked the older ways of doing things. I mean, I used to like Windows 95 but it was always crashing. It was a nightmare, because it was always blue screening on you. It was constantly crashing. It was so many problems. And it was only when XP came along that we had less of that. We still get it occasionally, but it's not as bad as it used to be. So I liked XP. It was good for doing what I wanted to do, doing batch files. I like to write batch files, and I wrote these really long batch files that used to automate some of my little things that I like to do, like, for example, synchronizing data from one computer to the other computer. So I would use a download computer, right? Because I didn't want to use my main computer for downloading stuff, right? If you're using Tor or Torrent or whatever it is. But so I leave a cheap, low power consumption laptop or netbook running in the background, which didn't use much electric at all. It was very economical. And I didn't want to use my main machine, because leaving your main computer switched on like 24 hours a day is extremely wasteful as far as electricity goes. So I would use this little netbook. But that caused me a problem, because all the files that I would download, like Linux, for example, if you want to download Linux, it might take you 2 or 3 days to download it on a torrent. Or if you were downloading some other tools and things like that, it would take sometimes 2 or 3 days to download them, because we're talking about years ago, like when the internet was even worse, like dial-up. And so all the files would be on the other netbook, and I got sick of browsing over the network to the other computer to copy files from that one to my main computer, which is where I wanted to use it, right? So I made this little batch program that would check in the download folder for new downloads, so, you know, to see if there was a new download, and I'd change the attributes of the files for archive. So I'd remove the archive switch for anything that I'd copied over. So the A was for archive. So once I'd copied it over, it would remove the archive flag from that file, because I'd know the batch would know that it had already copied it over, and it wouldn't copy it again and again and again. Otherwise, I'd end up with, problems. So anyway, I used to use this tool. Just lately, I haven't used it anymore because, let's face it, I mean, most of the stuff I can't get anymore. I mean, for Windows, you can't really download a lot of stuff for Windows now anyway, so there's not much point. But it's still, I still want to use it though. Every now and then I want to go back to it. It's nostalgic, you know. It's to me, it's like taking a step back in time. It's nostalgic. I like using some of the old tools, and it's just cool to use them. And it's mainly my flight gear, because that's CVS and open source, and I like to use the flight gear. And I can't use it on anything else because the files are all configured for XP. They're not configured for anything else. And anyway, so this tool, this guy, I saw this video earlier tonight. This guy has a way of reactivating Windows, which is really cool. Anyway, so I'll put up a link to it in the end screen. A little box, was it over here? So anyway, just keep an eye out for that little box that comes up. You go and check it out, and if you're really stuck and suffering in Windows XP, maybe his solution will sort you out. Maybe it will help. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.